I say probably got me the most was an interview with the little boy. So he wants to become a computer engineer when he gets older, and he wants to go to a university, and the person that inspires him is his little brother. And the funny part about it, his little brother looks like Bruno Mars, so everybody kept calling him Bruno Mars. But he had a lot of questions to ask us while we were there, and I don't know, I feel like he's one of the many kids that were there that thought about his future, because a lot of kids there, they didn't have any clue about their future. And he was one of the kids that actually went to school, because a lot of kids there, this was the only schooling they got, was this 3-day camp. So I remember after we did this interview, we did our reflection meeting and everything, and then I called my mom that night, and I was telling her about the whole trip and how I was going so far with the kids, and I almost teared up, but I didn't. Just telling her how these kids literally come from nothing, and how like sometimes I want the best things in life, and I feel like I need these things when these kids are literally coming from nothing. So it was a reality check. While we're online walking, a woodpecker flew by us a few times, and one time when it flew by us, a kid online caught the woodpecker in mid-air. I couldn't believe it. I said, "What is in your hand?" And he shows me the woodpecker, and I'm like, he caught it in mid-air while it flew past us, and then the pastor took it from him to like let it go. My mind was blown that a kid caught a woodpecker in mid-air while it flew right past us. I was like, I probably cannot figure out one kid in the United States that could catch a bird in mid-air just like whoop, and bring it to himself. It was that when I saw that, I was like, I'm not in the United States, I'm really in Nicaragua.
Campo Alegria is located on Lake Nicaragua, so it's got a beachfront view of the lake. It's got a main dining hall where a lot of the activities take place. It's got an organic farm that they're sort of developing in the back. It's got some play areas, and it's got more property that's available for future development. Our partner down there is Wyatt Willard, and he is the owner of the camp, and he runs this camp to bring teams down there. So we were one of maybe a dozen teams that he brings down during the year. And it's a very designed experience, so that, you know, we stay in a hotel the first night and we start to acclimate to the environment, and then we're brought into the camp, you know, before the kids get there, and we start getting familiar with the grounds, and then we start, you know, planning based on the actual schedule.
You know, I don't even think I still don't realize that I was there. Throughout the entire trip, I was asking people like, can you believe that we're in Nicaragua? Can you believe that we're in another country? And they're just like, no. I'm just like, I can't believe it either, and haven't experienced it all, and I've been through all the emotions. I still can't believe that I had the opportunity to go over there. It still hasn't hit me yet. I think hopefully by the community event it'll hit me, and I'll know like, wow, I really went over there and did all this research. So I was actually in charge of geography. So I actually had 20 minutes to come up with different activities. And going into the activity, I actually thought that I underplanned. When I went in there and I saw the kids, I realized that I overplanned for the activity. I thought that, you know, they were being really quick in terms of putting a puzzle together, but they had no idea of the world around them. When they were putting the puzzle together, they actually had Brazil next to Russia, and just had everything all over the place. And since the board was made for little kids, all the pieces fit within each other. So they really had no idea that they were putting things in the wrong spot. And then I literally had to stop and tell them, okay, this goes here, that goes there, and try to help them put the world together.
I think just interacting with the kids, it was really enjoyable. I love kids, and the fact that I was able to learn some more Spanish from them, and, you know, just got a sense of a different culture, different type of children. It was really like surprising, because I was really expecting to deal with like American children, like how they're so rowdy and crazy, and I mean, we had our craziness, but the children there were so respectful and even more quiet. Like, they didn't really do anything unless they were told to do something. It was just really a nice experience.
I remember we had a conversation with one of the kids, and she said that her favorite thing to do was to do the dishes, and she missed her mom because she, at this time of the day, she's usually helping her mom out. And we might see it as a, I don't know, as a punishment when your parent asks you to go do the dishes, but she enjoys doing it, and it made her happy to talk about it. So it just made me realize that a lot of people in those countries, we may see them as miserable, but they're actually happy.
I was never a camp counselor. I don't even know how to handle little kids. I'm not good with little kids. So it was like a lot of, I was nervous, anxious, worried. Like, these are not my kids, what I'm gonna do if they start acting up. But they were really good. Like, honestly, once you told them that they're gonna be in a group, that they're in this group and you have a leader and there's set rules, they were like, oh, okay, I'm following the leader. Like, I was team red and equipo rojo. It was just, that was it. It was really eye-opening. Like, I expected certain things, and like, it wasn't shocking the way they were living, but it was shocking in the fact that they accepted it. Like, they didn't know anything else but that. So it was really eye-opening to see how people live in other countries, and they don't know how other people in, like, say, the United States live. When we spoke to a pastor, and he said that 4 kids died in 1 year, like, he said it like it was nothing, and I'm just like, whoa. But it was because they don't have clean water. That's what they need, clean water, and 8 adults died.
You can sink a well 3 meters and get the shallow groundwater, and that's the water that tends to be the most compromised, the most polluted, because of the proximity of pollutants and latrines nearby. So they're hitting the same depth, and so the water gets contaminated with bacteria. A good well is sunk about 20 meters, 21 meters, I discovered. So one of the wells we did visit did have good water, was a much deeper well, and it was lined and protected. Those wells tended to be more expensive to construct and needed more expertise in terms of the construction. But if you had a well like that, that was what the community was using for its main source of drinkable water.
Because most of them, like, they know, like, some of the water that they have, they can drink it. And even in the hotel when we went, like, everywhere you see, like, a sign that say this water, like, might not be drinkable. So, like, they know, like, what's going on. Because when we went there, we thought it was just, like, the water is dirty, but there's more than that. Like, the way the system is built, the pipes are not big enough, and then the latrines, like, that are built next to the wells. So, like, in order to find a solution, like, if you educate yourself about the problem first, and then you get a better understanding, then you can make a little step to solution.
You know, you want to teach these kids about the water. You want to notify them what's going on, why it's contaminated. Most of the parents don't really know, like, let their children, like, their own kids know as to why it's contaminated. They just tell them, like, you can't drink it. And, you know, as time goes on, like Chanel said in the past, they tell their kids to not drink the water, but they don't know why. And then, you know, they have all these issues, you know, with contamination because of the floods, because of the outhouses, because of the bugs that are there. It's just so much going on, and you almost want to get to the root of it, and education is one of those roots. And that's why we are basing this whole thing on water and education, because you want to teach these kids, because that's how we can probably solve the issue. We not only want to teach them, we want to educate them to change their attitude about it, that we could make a difference if we filter the water, or if we recycle the water in that sense. It's hard because for me, this is how I always saw the world. This is my personal opinion. I feel like all of us were meant to help each other. That's one of the main reasons why we're here, to help one another out. And even though they're a different country, we're not the United States, I feel like they are people. They need help, and therefore we should all contribute. It's important, at least to me, because especially being there and seeing all the stuff that we've seen, it was just ridiculous. People should not even live like that, but you need water. It's a necessity in life.
I do remember one of the villages we went to, there was a woman we went to see at a small primary school, and she was telling us for the school to run, she has to go 2 hours from the school to collect drinking water and water in general to give to the children. So that's something she has to do on a daily basis. So she starts her morning at 2 a.m. and it ends at 4 a.m. just for school. So that was striking to me because we have access to water. I can go to my fridge and pull out water. But for someone to have to wake up out of their sleep and actually travel to get drinking water, that hit me hard. Going out there is beneficial, in educational wise, in getting to know yourself, socially, getting to deal with people that are totally different from you.
It's great to see that other side of the world, I guess, that we don't see here every day. Spending time with the children was amazing. Knowing that they come from a very poor family, they just had the best time of their lives, and it was really sad to see them go, especially the last day. I saw a lot of kids were upset and actually were crying when they were leaving, and we were taking pictures, and it was so sad because I knew they didn't, they had so much fun, and I felt like we definitely connected with them. I definitely thought about their future, and especially when Wyatt mentioned that out of the 40 kids that were there, only 2 were actually going to make it out of their community and become something. That was pretty amazing when he said that.
The kids are definitely the future of Nicaragua. They're so intelligent, and it broke my heart to hear that some of them won't make it. And it honestly, I felt so heartbroken that, they seemed like they love education when I was teaching them about math. They were so eager, they weren't bored, and I just wish that things end up great for them, because they are the next generation, and it's up to them to help their country.
When I was younger and I heard that saying, kids are the future, didn't think too much of it, just thought it was a saying that everybody says, but really the kids are the future. Educating the kids on the water supply, how to recycle rainwater, how to make water filtrations, how to do all these things, they're going to be the people to teach their kids.
I think in one hand, for the short term, because they have a lot of rainwater, they have 4 times of the rainwater than New York City. So I think for right now, before the huge project, we can help people to build some tank on the roof of their on the top of the roof, and they can connect the rainwater and just do some very simple treatment, and then people can boil the water and then use it.
Every time we ask them, what's the one thing that you think that the community needs, the first thing that they would say is water.
Speaking to many of the families there, we asked them, if you can have anything, what would it be? And it's clean water.
We went to different families and we were like, what is their number one problem? What is the thing that they want the most? And it's clean water that they can drink. And I remember sitting when we were in a circle talking to one of the pastors about, their village or their community, I was thinking to myself, what is the one thing that they need? What is the one thing that they would want in all the world? All he said was water. In my mind, I was thinking money.
Money does not solve every issue. Like, for example, the water. We can educate them and let them know why the water is contaminated. Instead of just telling children, don't drink the water, we can actually educate them so that way they can try to find solutions on their own.
Our group realized that, it's not money that they need. I mean, the project itself needs money to work on it, but we also need to work with the people in Nicaragua.
Teaching them how they could recycle rainwater, how they could recycle the lake water, knowledge, so that when we leave, they know how to keep this going and teach others.
Honestly, I just noticed that I've been drinking a lot more water. And usually I drink water like once a day, and now I carry water around every day.
I remember before I left, my mom always screams at me because I leave bottled waters all around my room and all around the house. I leave a half drink. And now I finish all my bottled water.
I've always grown up to appreciate what I have. I think the trip just made it even more. Even when I came back, my mom was like, now you can't leave your half-empty water bottles in the room because they need that water. You could give that to somebody, So, just little things like that.
We're just used to having it all the time that you never think oh, why is water so important? Because you have it all the time. You never have to worry about it.
So I feel like it's our duty to help them. So me living here, me having clean water, me living in a home, not worrying about the problem they're worrying about, it's my duty to actually go over there and help.
So the next step would be funding these educational programs that we have here, because you have students who are willing to go out and do the research and willing to educate the people and find out what's the best solution for that environment and get to know the people. So funding these alternative spring breaks and different things within NYIT and helping us get there so that way we can make a difference in developing countries like Nicaragua.
We need people to have experience in this. We are college students, but we've seen what we've seen, and all we want is to improve. We don't want to just drop this, This was a project that we feel so passionate about, and we want others to feel passionate just like us about it.
Before going on this trip, I never really thought about changing the world and helping the world. I thought about making my life better, my life. After this trip, how can I make other lives better?
Well, the best part about this project is interviewing the students and seeing them up so close and personal. It's almost like meeting the person for the second time, because nothing escapes the camera. Every single emotion is caught, every single tear or smile is captured forever. So it was really interesting to look back at all the footage and see how amazing it looks as a whole piece.